So now I will introduce a little bit about FoodPanda. So FoodPanda is an online food and grocery delivery platform owned by Delivery Hero. FoodPanda operates as the lead brand for Delivery Hero in Asia with its headquarters in Singapore. It is currently the largest food and grocery delivery platform in Asia outside of China, operating in 12 markets across Asia. FoodPanda established on March 2012 as a subsidiary company of Delivery Hero. FoodPanda owned by Ralph Wenzel, Benjamin Pau, and Karen Tana. The chief executive officer is Jacob Angel. In Malaysia, managing director of FoodPanda Malaysia owned by Sayantas Das. And the mission of FoodPanda is bringing good food into your everyday. That means we don't just bring delivery, we bring it, always going the extra mile to make your experience memorable. Globally, FoodPanda works with over 27,000 partner restaurants in 190 cities across 12 countries in Asia and Europe. In Malaysia, FoodPanda works with over 1,600 partner restaurants in the Klang Valley, Penang and Johor, and the workers of FoodPanda in Malaysia is over 10,000 workers. So now I will continue with the summary of the issue. The issue is in Kuala Lumpur, more than 200 freelance FoodPanda riders protest at 2 locations because of the new payment scheme announced by the FoodPanda delivery company. In addition, they will also receive an extra 1 ringgit per order for all orders between 11 PM and 9 AM daily, said Sayantas, adding at the company at 12,000 freelance riders across the country. The new payment scheme will definitely affect our earnings, especially riders who work on a full-time basis. About 100 of the company riders in the Klang Valley gathered at the company headquarters of Cheras from 11 AM and 2 PM to vent their frustration over the payment scheme. The company announced on Saturday that it had implemented new payment scheme for all riders outside Klang Valley. Pictures current online show a company representative meeting the rider to hear their process and explain the payment scheme. The rider claimed that they will not be paid for the actual working hours. Besides all being paid, the rider also symbolically put down their smartphone and refused to pick up orders. To show their unhappiness over the scheme, riders are also incentivized with a 100 bonus when they completing 60 hours per week. Previously, a freelance rider operating in Seremban could earn up 1,000 ringgit a week, since our weekly earnings are based on our working hours and order accepted.
Codes of ethical conduct, or simply referred to as code of ethics, is one of the more common critical elements of a formal ethical program. We can take it as the best known and important instruments for implementing business ethics in organization, because it can influence behavior of the employees. It usually contains policy and ethical principles that should be followed. It is viewed as ethical behavior and enhance their ability to deal with ethical issues.
Suggests that code of ethics should have the following characteristics for it to be useful and effective. First, applicable to everyone in the organization and all business partners. Second, easy to understand and non-legalistic. Third, content relevant example of ethical and unethical behavior or practices. Fourth, avoid negative tone, and last but not least, specific sanction or penalties for violation of the code.
Do you want to know the functions of the managers in organization in managing the firm to achieve their goals? What are the solutions of the issue?
Director of FoodPanda Malaysia, saya Tentas, said the new scheme that will give to all riders the flexibility or freedom to choose when and where they wish to work. For example, a rider who will receive a 5 ringgit per order will now receive 7 ringgit per order. Riders are also incentivized with a 100 ringgit bonus upon completing 16 hours a week. In addition, they will also receive an extra 1 ringgit per order for all orders between 11 pm and 9 am daily, said Sayatan, adding that the company had 12,000 freelance riders across the country. He said riders will also receive an additional bonus if they complete a minimum of 18 orders. Sayatan does that given the solution of the protest that held at company's headquarters, which are at Southgate Cheras, by giving the freedom to the FoodPanda riders, this shows that the manager director trying to give the best solution by the unethical behavior by riders. Without a formal ethical code of conduct, it is difficult to persuade employees to take ethics seriously. This code establishes ethical guidelines and the consequence for those who break them. As a wise manager, they should establish company-wide standards, as well as the guideline approach specific employees. Employees should be informed about which behavior are unethical in the code. The manager also should inform them ahead of time about how you handle violation, which may deter some from making unethical decisions for short-term gain.
In this case study, Code of Ethics for FoodPanda is a set of rules defining how payment transactions are processed. With the use of payment instruments should be clear and considered to available of rider. The rider should be paid for the actual working hours. There are methods employers use to compensate employees, including salary, hourly wage, and commission. The method that already sell depends largely on the nature of each job position. For example, commission is a typical payment method in sales position, while salary is typical in management positions. All methods have pros and cons. For example, salary is straightforward and not left up to interpretation, while hourly wage benefit employees who work many hours but are often subject to laws that may adversely affect the employers. FoodPanda also affirms that it is operating for some advantage but must consider individuals, either their corporation or execution, whether incorporate or unincorporate, employers or customers for the purpose. Second, FoodPanda must provide salary, which is the primary payment method for management and employees. Salary is an annual total, not based on the amount of time work or productivity. Taxes and other benefits deductions are taken out of this total. Any other pay, such as overtimes, commissions, or bonus, are separate from salary. Pay days off for salary employment are not deducted from any paycheck. Federal and state laws cover the minimum hour wage amount. The employers cannot pay a wage lower than this amount, minus a few exemptions. Additionally, any overtime earned is subject to state and federal laws. This act will protect workers from unfair treatment regarding wages. For delivery and performance, the rider is the one that is responsible for delivering the product and service with reasonable care, skill, and diligence. So, FoodPanda should provide that the goods and service for riders as employees, including consider the wage amount, payment of overtime wages, and record-keeping requirement. Lastly, supplier also responsible to complete the service or deliver the goods within the time frames or deadlines specified in agreement with the FoodPanda parties. Time is of the essence for all of the days and periods that have been specified in this agreement or submitted for them. The supplier will collaborate and work closely with any other suppliers that FoodPanda may find in relation to the exhibition, event, activity, or project related to this agreement on additional costs to the supplier. Without receiving writing acknowledgement of receipt from FoodPanda, the supplier shall not deliver any goods or service deliverables. FoodPanda has 7 days to inspect the goods or service deliverable from the date of its written acknowledgement of receipt. FoodPanda reserves the right to reject goods or service deliverables that are damaged, deficient, or defective during this time.
In conclusion, FoodPanda is an online food and the largest food grocery delivery platform in Asia that is applicable to everyone in the organization, customers, and all business partners. It already helps many people out there by providing the work easily. FoodPanda already gives many jobs to others for mid and low level income too. There are also elements of ethics program that have established, such as applicable to everyone in the organization and all to business partners. It also contains easy and understand and non-legalistic way use the apps. It contains relevant example of ethical and ethical behavior of practice for employees in the agreement and specific sanctions for penalty and violation of the codes. Rather also need a wide negative term when deal with customer in agreement. This ethical culture can be a critical ingredient of corporate reputation. As for ethical, FoodPanda should revise the new payment scheme, especially for riders that announced by the online recently. The Manager Director of FoodPanda Malaysia, which is Sayang Tandas, must give in the solution of the practice as soon as possible. He is responsible in managing the firm to achieve the goal set. The FoodPanda Code of Ethics is a collection of rules that define how payment transactions are performed with the use of payment instruments. The rules should be explicit and take into account the availability of riders. The key payment method for management and employees is salary, which FoodPanda must supply. The provider is also responsible for completing the service or delivering the items within the agreed upon time frames or deadlines with the FoodPanda parties. Lastly, FoodPanda is not just about bringing good food from customers' favorite restaurant. It's about making a connection, which is why they sit down with the chefs and the customer can dream up menus that will arrive fresh and full of flavor. That's all from me.